Let me just go ahead and get the proper attire for this. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Okay, and look. I just I can't take myself seriously whenever I'm wearing this, but look, last night I got scared shitless, right? Because if you guys don't know, TikTok, you know, their ownership transferred to somebody else, and there's been a lot of discourse surrounding that. And to be entirely honest, other than having to deal with everything that's been going on globally, I haven't thought too much about it, you know, until I decided at 3 a.m. to go online to find me a funny whenever I seen a video of Spinsois, okay? And Spinsois was freaking the fuck out saying, why is TikTok talking to me like a fucking Ouija board right now? And I thought it was just some bug with their stuff, whatever, and I'm like, oh, it's fine, until I go on my phone, right, and I see this shit. You said you would turn on your beware of the man who speaks in hands. I gave you too many chances to, and a bunch of crazy shit. And here I am. I'm in the dark, in the middle of the night, right? And y'all might be thinking, Branny, it is not that big of a deal, right? It was to me. It was scary enough to where, like, I felt genuine fear in my body, because what do you mean? Beware of the man who speaks in hands. And I started racking my brain, and I'm like, why on God's green earth would this be happening? And I figured whenever we think logically together, it's probably because, you know, whenever they transfer new ownership, you know, like the algorithm might have changed, you know, there might be some like software differences, whatever, and it just trying to figure out what the hell it's doing under like the new rules and all this stuff. But then I couldn't get my mind off of beware of the man who speaks in hands. And for those of you who think I'm going batshit crazy because I'm wearing a tinfoil hat on my head, number one, fair. But also, that's where this comes in, because I remembered something. If you guys are nerds like me, or you know anything about Undertale, there was this character named W.D. Gaster, and essentially, old bro found out everything. He found out the truth about his body, about the characters, about his surroundings, and the fact that they were all in a game. And in what's essentially the sequel to Undertale, Deltarune, he told a few characters, you know, the truth about everything. And it made them go absolutely insane. This man, he speaks in wingdings and all of this. And the fact that he made these characters go insane, the other characters would, like, you would hear them say, beware of the man who speaks in hands, right? So whenever I put 2 and 2 together, I start tweaking, because yeah, of course, maybe it thought that I would enjoy video games, right? Maybe it thought that I would enjoy that, right? Which, fair, because I do. Y'all have seen my channel. However, it wasn't just me who got this, and it wasn't just me, it wasn't just Spinsois who got all of these weird, you know, like search prompts in all caps, including beware of the man who speaks in hands. And speaking that, you know, W.D. Gaster, he knew the truth about everything. You know, and whenever everyone else started finding out the truth, the people that he told, they started going batshit insane. So it's like, now that the ownership of TikTok has changed, right? And everyone is getting this thing, while also simultaneously, it seems like a bunch of people in society are kind of waking up to the fact that a lot of the things that, like, you know, are implemented, a lot of the processes, capitalism, you know, the things that happen, whatever, are simply just bullshit, right? And people are waking up in that regard. And then there are some people, including myself, who have had a hard time dealing with this, right? And it's telling you, beware of the man who speaks in hands. And speaking of the new ownership of TikTok, like how that's happening in the US and all that, if we think together, like, okay, obviously I'm reaching. This is low-key, this is a joke. Kind of. This is kind of a joke. But look, despite the fact that this is probably nothing, you can't tell me that this isn't weird. You know what I mean? It's some of the craziest shit that I had ever seen, because 12-year-old me, okay, I absolutely loved conspiracy theories, and I would have absolutely lost my fucking mind. But whenever it comes to, you know, the new ownership of TikTok and everything that's happening in the US regarding that, it really makes me wonder what's in store here. Because yeah, more than likely it was a funny bug, what have you. But there are a lot of people on, like, international TikTok, if you will, who have essentially said, like, hey, Americans, they're not telling you everything, right? So here I am looking around scared shitless, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, what is going on? Like, yeah, was it a funny bug, or is this just some weird foreshadowing? You know, did we get some weird foreshadowing for the future through a fucking Undertale meme? Essentially, what the hell is going on? And I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of this? You know, because obviously this is goofy as shit, but like, what do you think the new ownership of TikTok for everyone in the US, what do you think that means? You know, do you just think, you know, it's for national security reasons? Do you think it'll be a good thing? Do you think, like, it won't really make much of a difference? Or maybe do you even think this is the start of, like, some state-controlled media? Because I've been wanting to dabble into that, because there are some things and there are some patterns that I have seen, most certainly, but I would love to know your thoughts. And hopefully the next time I see you, it won't be controlled super heavily or censored super heavily. But remember, beware of the man who speaks in hands. Okay, so tinfoil hats off for this one. As I was editing this, some genuinely, like, not conspiracy coded, but genuinely weird shit has started happening with the TikTok just app, from people's videos getting suppressed to not being able to upload at all. My algorithm is weird and I can't get it back to how it was. And icing on top of the cake, and I might be flying a bit too close to the sun, but I'll put up pictures here because I cannot make this shit up. I go to get some clips to overlay on top of this video, and I look up messages to Americans because I was trying to get clips from, you know, international talk, world talk, what fucking have you. It goes against community guidelines, okay? And I'm like, oh, well, maybe it was just something different, so I type message to Americans. Nothing comes up. Nothing will come up. So, long story short, this video was, you know, it was a bit dramatic for the funny, and it was kind of satire, but I might not, you know, there actually might be a bit more to this than I originally thought.